Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it's a little bit too late, my friends. At least they started, but they did the same thing last year. And only now during the autumn, when things are getting colder, people start rallying in Czech Republic against the pro-government, the pro-Western government. And I have two articles here, one from Reuters, the other one from Associated Press, with some pictures about thousands of Czechs protesting. They did it before, nothing changed. Look how it worked for the French. I know the Czechs are not the French, but the Czechs with their pension reform got out a few millions out, and Macron just used the middle finger, because that's how democracy works. So yeah, you can have all these mass demonstrations. Your rulers will not do anything. Now imagine if this kind of mass of people will show up rallying about, gender something, or that would immediately require attention. But here, no. Why? Because, this is a scheme. But let's read what Reuters has to say. Czech protesters rally against government's pro-Western policies. Well, those policies are going to run the European Union and the European countries to dust. Why? Because I don't think those policies are in the interest of, in this case, Czech Republic. It's good at least that they do it. A little bit too late. Why? Cold weather shows up. And when cold weather lands, then what are you going to do? Go home. Thousands of supporters of a pro-Russian Czech opposition party gathered in Prague on Saturday to protest against the country's center-right government, criticizing its economic management and military support for Ukraine. Now, here it says a pro-Russian Czech opposition party. Well, if I look at this right here, if this is accurate with what it is over there occurring in Prague, which I've been to, which beautiful city, then this opposition is really, really big. That should be scary, but no, they will ignore it, like Macron. Ignore the will of the French nation. The protest was called by the pro movement, which is not represented in parliament. So if those guys are not represented in parliament and they can gather this many people, that tells me that either the elections are very fair and free they are, but okay, or something is wrong somewhere, because as a non-parliamentary party, you should not be able to pull something like this. I mean, that's my assessment, unless you have a big support. And it's also, if you see here on the street, going that way, on the side, walks and so on. So it's a little bit of a question that I have. How in the hell these guys can pull off this many people over there? 10,000 it says, at least I would say. But hey, they are not supposed to maximize the number. They have to minimize it, because it's a support of the people of something that runs against the possibly Associated Press narrative and interest and agenda. So it says here, so again, this movement is not represented in the parliament and has taken a nationalist, pro-Moscow and anti-Western line. Okay, so first, nowadays here, sometimes to be a nationalist is a bad thing, sometimes it's fantastic. It depends how that nationalist supports their agenda. Pro-Moscow and anti-Western line. Well, maybe it's about pro-Czech, and it happens to manifest itself in the context of Moscow and NATO, and not Western line, NATO, and that is Al Capone, which is United States of America. News agency CTK estimated turnout about 10,000 people, smaller than a similar event a year ago. So that they mentioned that to let you know that this movement is waning, is going down. So don't worry. Is not growing, is going down. That's that little bullshit here, right? Smaller than a similar event a year ago, which took place at the height of Europe's energy price surge. It's coming, and that's why they know it. And that's why they're over there. Well, a bit late, because you don't act only when it hurts you directly. You plan ahead, you think ahead. And I'm quoting, we made another step today to move out of the way the rock that is the government of Mr. Prime Minister Petr Fiala, pro-leader Jindřich Reichel. Oh my God, Reichel. From Goebbels to Reich, I don't know, told the crowd in Prague's Square, Wenceslas Square. Okay, that's the first one, and I'm going to go to the next one, which is from Associated Press. Thousands of Czechs rally in Prague to demand the government's resignation. Here they are. A lot of diversity here, no? No, that means they're weak. Because here in America, we are told that diversity is our strength. Therefore, I don't see diversity over there. And that tells me they must be very weak, according to the same statement provided by these traitors. Thousands of Czechs rallied in the capital on Saturday to demand the government's resignation over high energy and other prices, as well as war in Ukraine. The protest under far right with far left forces and was the protest united far right with far left forces. That means they're not like you, a normal guy, balanced guy, you know, a tolerant guy. No, they're just the crazies, both sides. So that is, if you protest, you must be one of the guys that you're crazy. You know, you're a nationalist, you're pro-Russia. Not too many though, because crazies are not too many, but we have to keep them down, and we're succeeding because they showed up less this year than last year. Oh my, all right, they united far right with far left forces, and was the third such rally at Prague's Wenceslas Square this year that was organized by a new political party known as Pro. So it was new. Okay, I was not aware of that. That means they should probably win the next elections, the free and fair elections. The demonstrators repeatedly chanted a message for the five-party ruling coalition to, quote-unquote, resign. Some demonstrators demanded the country quit NATO. The protesters were planning to march to the Interior Ministry building in Prague. Well, what can you do? You're not going to do it, and if you do it, you will be met by people paid by you to beat you up. If you don't support the narrative, if you support the narrative, they will let you do what they allow those guys in Seattle, Washington. If you remember, 2020, 2019, those mostly peaceful protests. Okay, that's one. Oh, my friends, it's so obvious. It's them against us, but they keep us at each other's throats and ignore what they do. But there are some people who organize, and that's fantastic. That's fantastic. It's okay, they can institute some mask mandates again and the mandatory separation of us, so we can't do anything about anything. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.